Now he's over there making. Now obviously Henry's decided he needs to take care of his responsibilities. Now, I don't understand this either. Like, okay, he comes in and says, okay, I'm going to. Does he explain that it's his creation that's doing this, or does he just come in and say, I want to help? And suddenly he's decided he's made to be the leader of one of the groups. I don't understand how it is that he's made one of the leaders. Obviously, I don't think he admits that it's his creation. Otherwise, the Ludwig over there would probably be like beating the hell out of him. Now here we go with the cliched lynch mob on the monsters, which is obviously parodied in Young Frankenstein also. While the wife and children are watching on as the men take care of things. This is basically I believe the start of the third act, I would say. Now, I'm not really sure if I've done this commentary pretty good, like well enough or not. I know I gave out some information, and pretty sure people probably know the information already. I mean, I did enjoy doing this. I wish I would have had more to say about certain scenes. Yeah, now they're just splitting apart to take their own like little way to find the creature. They have like bloodhounds and. Now, why are they gonna be on boats? Like, do they think that the monster's hiding underwater? I guess they're just, combing as much areas as they can. Now you can tell it's a backdrop. That's not real. It's like a back painting or whatever. Before green screen or blue screens were available. They just added a painted background to blend in with the forefront, fake mountain looks and, Now, how the hell does the dogs know to go after the monster? I mean, did they get a scent off of little Marie's body as to what the monster smells like? Usually when bloodhounds go after a scent or go after somebody, it's through a scent. Now, unless they had the dogs smelling up little Marie, that's the only way I can see why the dogs would know where the monster is. And of course, Henry's the one that's left behind. No, all he knows is that Henry's there. He has one of the showdowns anyway. Let me get that makeup effect. I can't get over the makeup effect in these films. And you can't really tell where the makeup ends or begins. Really done well. Damn, Henry gets knocked out the easiest way now, doesn't he? All he did was smack him a little bit in the head and gets knocked out. I guess he must be really strong. Now, if you noticed that scene before, when he fell down, he fell on the fire. I wonder, like, why his pants didn't get on fire, or why he didn't, like, I mean, is that, like, fake fire, or did he have something underneath his pants so he'd be protected from the heat? Now here we are at the windmill. The climax of the film, basically. As well as the beginning for the second film, which I'm not gonna do the commentary for that tonight because I want to put down some notes, like, which is what I did for this film. I'd never done the notes thing before, but I thought it'd be interesting to have something to talk about. Damn, he's just carrying Henry like a freaking rag doll. It must have been so hellacious for him to have to wear all that makeup and whatever heat was going on. I think it was, like, very heated at this time, like it was summertime or something like that. Plus, you know, you got all the fire that ends up happening, and then you just gotta carry around a grown man. And from what I understand, he also had a bad leg too at this time. He had a bad back. I remember hearing about him having a bad back. So for him to have to do all this and carry him around with a bad back, he was definitely a trooper. And he did it 2 other times, which is amazing. Yeah, now look, we have two different men on the opposite sides of the same pedestal. Kind of a what do you call it? You know, it's a kind of a metaphor. I mean, the film is still really well made. I mean, even by today's standards, you'd have to admit that this is, you know, still very done well, you know. And as you can tell, he just threw a doll. I mean, you can obviously tell that. But back then, it must have been like, wow, cool. You know, you have to give respect. You have to give respect for these films because they really ushered in what it is that we know now. Now with Halloween coming, you know, this is kind of a cool thing to have. You know, this will obviously be up before October 1st, but I'm going to try to do as many commentaries as I can for the month of October. Kind of like my own movie madness, like the Angry Video Game Nerd does. Now they're starting to burn down the windmill. You kind of feel bad, and you understand where their villagers are coming from. You know, they just want to protect their families and, you know, families basically. But everything just turned out wrong. You know, like, I mean, if it wasn't for human error, then maybe he could have, you know, the monster could have actually lived among everyone. But obviously, in a film like this, you gotta preach tolerance, basically, and this is what happens when you don't. Sometimes I look a little deep into things, I know. Now they just stand there until the thing completely comes tumbling down. Now here we are with the epilogue. We see what happens to Dr. Frankenstein, which is kind of contradictory to Bride of Frankenstein, because in Bride of Frankenstein, the father's nowhere to be seen, but yet here he is seen. Because Bride of Frankenstein basically takes up minutes after the end of this film, minutes after the scene of the windmill. I mean, like, this is all basically supposed to be overlapping with what happens in Bride of Frankenstein at the beginning. I just love how it's like there's five maids that need to bring one thing of champagne. Definitely doesn't. He definitely does not need that wine. Yeah, that was a really good movie too. I always laughed at this because it's kind of a grammar error. It's a universal picture. Like, now, when you have a word that begins with a vowel and you have the word A before it, you're supposed to end it with an N. It's stupid. I know it's not really important. Now they show that the monster was played by Boris Karloff, which I am sorry I revealed that sooner than now, because I actually did want to wait till the end. But oh well. And he did a very good job at portraying the character, as well as everybody else did. And it always ends with a good cast is worth repeating, at least in the first two films. Because James Whale did a very good job at making these films. He also directed The Invisible Man, Murders in the Rue Morgue, and he was portrayed by Sir Ian McKellen in Gods and Monsters, which is basically a film based off of James Whale's life after he was kind of ostracized from Hollywood after coming out that he was gay. And that's basically it. So I'm glad that you guys sat here and watched this with me. If you guys are actually still watching this, I definitely am glad. I'm sorry for the background being just a poster, because I'm not sure how to upload this onto my computer to do it that way. If you go on Cinemassacre.com, Angry Video Game Nerd James Rolfe actually did a commentary for Dracula. So if you want to watch a commentary with Dracula, you can watch that. He does it with one of his friends, which is interesting, and at least that can hold you off until I'm ready to do, the commentary for Dracula. Now, this DVD does hold a commentary by Rudy Belmar, film historian, basically. Another one does a commentary for Bride of Frankenstein. There's also, on this side two, there's Frankenstein Files, which basically deals with this film as well as the sequels, but it mostly gets into this film. There is another documentary for the Bride of Frankenstein, which I'll get more into that when that gets there, but I hope you enjoyed this commentary, and I will see you guys next time.